All right, so here we got a new dog. This is Mike. Um, this is Mike's first video. Yes, and Mike is a black male. He is about 18 months old. Turns 2 late this year. We're here beginning of July, and Mike is kind of a neat story, and I want to give a little bit of a background with him, and then we'll talk about what we're doing. Um, So Mike is actually a pup that we sold to a family who's not too far from here. And one of the things that we tell every family who gets a pup from us is if it doesn't work out, if something goes wrong, if the pup is not a good fit, or something isn't right, but most importantly, if you have some sort of a change of life circumstance, life throws us curveballs, car wrecks, cancer, divorce, kids, new jobs, you never know. And if that change of life means that your situation with your dog isn't going to work out the way that you thought it was, we're here to help. We have a lot of dogs. We do a lot of training. We every year we have a couple of dogs that are like this, where either they were a pup we sold or even a dog that we didn't sell. Um, where we get the dog in, we evaluate, we do some training, and then we can find the dog a new home. And so we've actually done this several times, and some of them are actually, we end up keeping them forever. Several dogs that we own are dogs that we realized, we could, the dog wasn't in a great situation, wasn't the perfect spot for that dog, but they were a great fit with us. So that's something that we do. So if you're anybody who's watching this and you're like, hey, we got this dog that's not doing great, or of course, if you've gotten a puppy from me, then you know that that's a thing that we do. But one of the things that's important with that is, so when we get a dog, wherever they come from, whether it's a puppy that we produced or whether it's something else, some other dog, generally speaking, it's a purebred Labrador that we work with. If someone brings us a dog, the question that I have a lot of people asking is, well, how do you know um, whether or not this is going to work out? And even more than that, how do we know what this dog is going to be good at? And so there's a process of evaluation. How do we know what Mike is going to be good at? Well, the first clue is his pedigree. So Mike is a Vega Shira pup, and interestingly, we actually own um, and kept for ourselves a Vega Shira pup that was his litter mate. His sister stayed with us and was actually a dog that my son Griffin trained, and she was fantastic, very easy to train, very quick, loved to learn, and moreover, we have done the Vega Shira breeding several times and had numerous Vega Shira dogs that have been master hunter titled. Our own Eva is one of those, and there's several others out there. So the first thing we look at when we're evaluating a dog is, well, who are they from? Like, who are their parents? And so if you see a dog that like came from a pedigree that has worked already, that's a really good sign, right? So when you're thinking about looking for a breeding for yourself, that's like a great thing to look for, is to look for a pup that came from a breeding that's a repeat, and the time that they did it before worked really well. Those dogs performed well. If now, obviously, those breedings don't happen all the time. Like, you can't. Not every breeding is a repeat, and not every breeding, you know how it went. There's that you don't always get that information, but if you have that information, that is very, very powerful information. I would say, in my opinion, that's the best information you can have. Is it's a breeding that was done before, and the pups that came out before worked and did great. That's a strong indicator of likely success. So back to Mike here. Um, why we got Mikey here? Well, Mikey, like I said, needed to have a change of address, and we were happy to bring him in. Um, and when I got Mike, I had only had him for a very short amount of time when I realized, oh boy, this dog could be pretty special. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think there's a lot of talent. And I think he might actually have a pretty good long fit here at Three Ring Kennels. So, what am I looking for? What am I looking for to evaluate a dog for this? So, there's a couple of things. First off, like I said, of course, a good pedigree with health clearances. A previous breeding is great, but the actual individual dog. What am I looking at with the individual dog? Well, in Mike, what you might have noticed in this video is this dog is completely fixated on me and the bumper. I've been standing here blabbing to my phone for the last 5 minutes, and Mike is not running off, doing looking for something. He's not doing his own thing. He wants to be with me, and he wants his toy. This is what I consider top tier retrieving drive. This is the highest level of um, attention, a high level drive. That's what I want to see. I want to see a dog that wants to do this. Sometimes in the retriever world, we call that work ethic. A dog that really wants it, wants to work with you, wants to do stuff, because a lot of times the training is kind of a drag. It's kind of monotonous. It's kind of repetitive. It gets to be a chore, and you got to have a dog if it's going to go and do some big dog stuff. It's got to have that desire, that passion. Maybe the word ambition is a good word. Um, Mikey's got that. So I like that. I really like what I see there. The other thing that's nice about Mike is his previous owner did do quite a bit of obedience training and quite a bit of good foundation work with him, and was actually working on doing um, kind of starting some like police dog training stuff, some like high end obedience stuff. Had a lot of things that he had kind of planned with them, and of course those plans had to change due to life changing. So what we're going to do with Mike is we're going to help him take what he's learned, and we're going to transition that into the hunt test world. And I'm pretty sure Mikey here is really going to like this game, because he gets to do lots of retrieving work. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to start off with a little bit of his obedience here. Sit. Heel. Sit. Good. Good boy. Sit. Mike. And what I'm looking at here is looking at the how hard does he run. He has given me 100% here. Give on the way out and on the way back. That's huge. And this is nothing. This is just a little rubber bumper in the mowed grass. This isn't a bird. This isn't a live flyer or anything exciting. This is a relatively uninteresting plastic bumper. If I was evaluating this dog, this is the kind of drive that we like to see that could end up doing maybe even like detection level work, where they want like just like psychotic levels of drive. Um, so Mike already knows quite a bit of obedience. Sit, which is extremely helpful. So I can stand here and talk. He's seen the bumper fall. He is locked in on that bumper. Heel, heel, good. And we're using the sit, good. Mike. And so we're using the mat as kind of our point to help him understand this is your spot. So we're trying to help him make this transition from what he has learned into, and we're not going to say the word yet, give. And one of the little tricks there that I've told a lot of people this in person. If you have a dog that wants to play tug, fetch. He fetches on command, which is incredible. I'm going to let him play with this and let him get kind of riled up. If you have a dog that's like this, hey, Mike, here, and they want to play tug of war with you, obviously we don't want to do tug of war, because if you're going to do hunt testing in particular, you don't want to get into a tug of war battle with the dog. Hey, Mike, right here. How do you get the dog to let go if they have not learned that word? Let me show you a little trick. Mike, so what we do, we put our hand on the bumper, and so he's like wanting to tug here, okay? If you take your other hand and put it on their flank, and there's kind of a little flap of skin, and we just touch right here, yeah, they immediately turn to look and be like, what's that? It's a strange sensation to them, okay? Virtually every dog will let go. It's not painful at all. It's simply a strange stimulus that they want to drop and go back and look and see what that is. So this is Mike's little intro, and I really, really like what I see here. There's just some great intangibles, this passion, this ambition and wants to work with me. He just automatically fetches off the ground, which is huge. That's an incredible thing. Um, um, okay, give, good. So I really like what I see here with Mike. I think there is just oozing with potential, and I think we're going to turn him into a really nice hunt test dog here really soon. So, thanks for watching.